Today I'd like to talk about the most infuriating scene in any Adam Sandler film, more specifically the 2011 film Jack and Jill, which is directed by Dennis Dugan. This scene in question is in fact an advertisement that is set within the universe of the film, starring legendary actor Al Pacino. It seems to be promoting a new brand of coffee from Dunkin' Donuts called the Dunkachino. Now, this scene starts innocently enough with Pacino walking into the Dunkin' Donuts, who is then spotted by a worker there, who exclaims,
Al Pacino!
So far, nothing really to complain about. But what comes next, some viewers may find is a little off. So in response to this, Al Pacino says,
It's not Al anymore, it's Dunk!
A little strange, for sure, but let's humour it for the moment. Okay, so I've prepared this visual so that we can follow the events of the scene as they transpire. As we can see, at the start of the scene, and by extension the entirety of his life, this man's name is Al Pacino. But with the new information that we've been given, we now know that it's not Al anymore, it's Dunk. So following this to its logical conclusion, his name is now Dunk Pacino. Granted, it's an odd name, but who am I to judge? So, there it is. His name is now Dunk Pacino. So let's see what this man has to say about this.
Dunkachino?
There it is. The single word that's been tormenting me ever since I first watched this scene. Let's hear it again.
Dunkachino?
Okay, so I'd like to break this down. So Dunk's name is no longer Al, so it would be Dunk Pacino. So why does this worker say Dunkachino, like that would be his new name after he swapped out Al for Dunk? Pacino wasn't the part of his name that was changed, so why did it change here? Why did this worker make a change to Dunk's last name when he hadn't received any information pertinent to that? So I think it would be useful to try and follow this worker's thought process here so that we can get an answer. There were two possibilities that I first thought of. The first one was that, what if he thought the star's name was actually Al Pacino? In this case, if he was to change Al to Dunk, his full name would be Dunkachino, right? Well, that would be nice. That seems to tie everything up in a neat little bow. Just a simple mistake of name. It happens. Nothing really to get too upset about. But thinking about that harder, that isn't quite the case, is it? There's no way that he can think that Dunk's last name is Pacino. The reason why I think this is, if you rewind in the scene a little bit, you hear the woman say this.
Al Pacino!
He clearly hears Al Pacino. In this space of time, he would not think that Dunk's last name is Pacino. Maybe he thought this before, but after hearing that, he would correct himself, right? So it has to be something else. Which led me to thinking this. This man doesn't think his name was Al Pacino. He thinks the name of the star in front of him is Alp Pacino. Like before, in this case, swapping out Alp, what he believes to be the star's first name, would lead to his new name being Dunk Pacino. Now that seems to tie everything up pretty neatly. Oh, so I thought, but I'm at a loss again, because just the line before, he hears Dunk say,
It's not Al anymore!
that's right, it's not Al anymore. In this scene, he's heard both Al and Pacino separately. So there's no way he could have mistaken it, right? Which is why this infuriates me. I don't know how he could have possibly made this mistake. But the worst part of it for me is, poor Dunk doesn't even have the heart to correct him. He just says,
Don't mind if I do!
and grabs the Dunkachino. No. Wait. No. That can't be right. But if that's the case, then I get it. No, I get it now. No. This was no mistake. I didn't want to think it, but there's something more sinister at play here. Okay, so I want you to follow this along with me. Let's see what would happen had the worker got his name right. Okay, so Dunk enters the building. We hear Al Pacino, and then Dunk says, it's not Al anymore, it's Dunk. And then this guy says, Dunk Pacino? As is correct. After this, Dunk would then reply, yes, and then leave the store. Dunk was clearly just informing the local establishments of his new name, so his business here is now concluded. What's important here is, well, Dunk can't respond to the phrase Dunk Pacino with don't mind if I do. A Dunk Pacino isn't a product. You can't help yourself to a Dunk Pacino. And thus, the day ends. Not a Dunkachino promoted, not a Dunkachino sold, not even a Dunkachino given. Which is why this happens. This man, this selfish man, can't let it end like this. So he says it. He says Dunkachino, even though he knows it's wrong. He needs to say Dunkachino because Dunk needs to take the Dunkachino, and he needs to do the dance number, and he needs to promote the product. If this doesn't rattle you to your core, then it should. He's butchered the pronunciation of a poor man's name just so he can help line his pockets. He's adding and removing letters like he's some sort of alphabet dictator. All just so he can peddle his snake oil. The world is a worse place because people like him exist. But if I'm being completely honest, I'm scared. Because this could be anyone. Think about it. This is a Dunkin' Donuts worker. I mean, this is someone you'd expect would greet you with a smile and deliver you delicious drinks and tasty treats. Not some greedy, selfish bastard. And it just reminds you, the one truth of this world is the demon of Babylon disguises himself with the coat of the righteous.